Good day and welcome to this month's edition of Movement of the Month. I'm Coach Kennedy. I'm your coach today. And as always, I want to remind you guys that if there's ever any questions, you can always reach out to me. You'll find my contact information, everything in the copy. In the copy of this content as well, I describe a little as to the importance of these two exercises. But again, just to reiterate, during times like this, or times in general where people sit a lot, and this is something that's very common in today's society, we're starting to build these very kyphotic, these very curved spines. And as I mentioned slightly in the article, when I become very curved here, I lose this ability to keep my head straight. I start to have this forward head posture. I also lose the ability to be able to rotate. You cannot rotate correctly if the upper part of the back is curved. And another one that's a real big one, I want you to imagine someone kyphotic in their head posture here. It's impossible to get the arms completely overhead without extending through the spine and curving. So a question you should ask yourself is, how do I perform an overhead press when I have this kind of an issue? And usually what happens is people are actually bending and extending the spine to compensate for that pattern. So the other thing I want to also bring up is, not only is it kyphotic, and I said it has to rotate, but our scapula must rotate on my ribs. If it's compressed, it becomes sticky, things don't slide the way they used to. So these two movements are going to help to contribute to stretching that area out, to kind of getting some movement happening in there. It's going to affect my pecs, my lats. These are all rotators of the upper arm anyway. So it's all going to contribute to having my shoulder blades slide. The reason I've done two, one of them is going to work more in the frontal plane, the other is going to work more in the sagittal plane. So I'm going to have two to kind of combine the movements of how the scapula works. This first one, which I'll do in this one video, and then I'll do a separate video for the second one, so they can both be watched individually. The first one is a child's pose alternating reach. So let me just get you guys set up. I'm going to dorsiflex, bend my toes. And as I begin, I'm pretty much have my hips underneath my knees, and I'm going to have my hands underneath my shoulders. So there is my quadruped position. And then it's really simple here. We're going to alternate these. If you find it easier, depending on your client, we can operate one side at a time. Alternating can be a bit more challenging for some. So now that I'm in position here, nice long spine, remember your breathing, I'm going to sit back in my hips, right on my heels, and as I do, I'm almost reaching forward and looking straight into the ground. I will momentarily hold that. I'm going to feel a big stretch through here, so my shoulder blade's gonna pull up, and I'll show you that again. There's my stretch, hold, pause, come back into position, switch sides, and repeat. And the protocol, as I've indicated in the copy of the article, we will do these in a slow, controlled fashion. It's more about being aware for approximately 30 seconds. Sometimes you can work up to a minute. It's a great movement prior to movement. That is your child's pose with alternating reach. Hope you enjoyed. If there's any questions, reach out. I'm Coach Kennedy, and I'm looking forward to coaching you again.